Good evening and welcome to the India Governance Forum. Thank you very much, Rohan, for this warm introduction. I will not repeat what you already said. Rather, I will utilize next 5 minutes to take you through the journey of Scotch. Scotch, Scotch, Scotch. Many a times, those who come in touch with us, they deal with a dilemma as to what is this Scotch. A, it brings smile on their face. B, they feel that is it an Indian company? Is it Scotch or SKOCH? What are they dealing with? And it also kind of, causes a confusion amongst those who come in touch with us as to, after dealing with Scotch, what next? So I'm going to be addressing all these three dilemmas. Start with a small anecdote. When we took the proposal for Scotch Award, Scotch Lifetime Achievement Award, to Mr. Chidambaram, the very first thing he also asked, that Scotch Award for a teetotaler. And Mr. Kocher, who was sitting in front of him, told him that I am the founder of Scotch, and my name is Samir Kocher, and the acronym comes from my name. So this sketch of a vision was born in the year 1997. And we have seen many seasons. We have seen uphill drive, we have seen the downhill drive, and with perseverance, grit, and commitment, we have reached a stage where we are all gathered in this room.
स्कॉच फाउंडेशन को और उसके सभी पदाधिकारियों को हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं कि इस पुरस्कार के लिए उनने मेरा चयन किया है.
Mr. Samir Kocher's book on Modinomics is being released today. We've just had the benefit of listening to him. I must say he's a very blunt man.
He is really a very resourceful person.
समीर जी, I want to thank you very much. हम लोगों ने सबने अपनी जनता की प्रतिज्ञा ली है समीर जी. ये प्रतिज्ञा लेके सेवा की सोच करके हम यहाँ इस मंच पे आए हैं.
मैं फिर से धन्यवाद देती हूँ कोचर जी को, क्योंकि उन्होंने अपनी मेहनत, अपनी लगन से, मैंने अपनी मर्जी से यहाँ आए हैं अपनी टीम के साथ. उन्होंने अपनी जिंदगी का 3 पूरे दिन हमको दिया है.
Thank you very much, Samir ji, for this opportunity. You said I've attended. This is my 3rd event at SKOCH.
नीचे से उठ करके ऊपर आने वाले समीर कोचर.
समीर कोचर जी मेरे बहुत अच्छे मित्र हैं.
I congratulate Shri Samir Kocher.
Thank you to Samir Kocher for putting together.
You know, the reason why I've shown you this video, not to show the faces of political leadership, but the warmth that this political leadership brings onto the platform. We are absolutely apolitical, not aligned with any kind of ideology or any kind of color, and everyone feels extremely comfortable being part of this platform. So this is the warmth that the political leadership eludes about Scotch. We are a 360-degree coverage since 1997. We are a public policy think tank, which brings the voice of the people onto the policy table. 1997, when we started, Mr. Kocher founded SKOCH Consultancy Services. Soon enough, we realized that there has to be a medium to take whatever voices we are collecting at the grassroots, that we are interacting with people, and the learnings therefrom to be taken to the larger mass. So we set up a media company and which publishes Inclusion and has been publishing Scotch State of Governance Report ever since. We have published more than 18 books. Mr. Kocher is a reforms historian. He's the author of Modinomics and has penned down 18 volumes so far. We believe that in today's digital age, the power of narrowcasting cannot be denied. For broadcast, there is enough. To reach out to your target audience, there is only one medium, which is narrowcast. So we believe Scotch TV fulfills that gap. Scotch Development Foundation works at the grassroots, is a center of excellence with Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and this feeds in our field level inputs into Scotch research, which further goes on to impact policy. And then we have, of course, the CAII, which is the CEOs Association for Inclusive India. This is an antithesis of FICCI and the Confederation of Indian Industry and the other industry organizations, which ask for SOPs. Here, the like-minded CEOs get together and say that this is how we can contribute for the, or to the inclusive growth of the country. On the left, you can see two prime ministers releasing two books by Mr. Kocher. We work with almost every central ministry, and we work with almost every state government. In terms of knowledge, we are most respected. So much so that the book, A Brief History of Indian Reforms, The Untold Story, was released by half the cabinet. And as I said in the beginning itself, that we believe in no colors. So we have one chief minister tweeting about the Scotch Award, and here we have the Prime Minister who is tweeting about a Mudra report which was researched and submitted to the government by Scotch. We are most visible. We make full use of the national media in order to reach out to our target audience. This makes us perhaps the most respected in terms of knowledge that we bring to the table, and at the same time, not very big in terms of size. But in terms of knowledge, we perhaps are the biggest in the country. Scotch Awards remain extremely aspirational, as you can see from this slide. These are some of the volumes that Mr. Kocher has penned down. On the extreme left, you can see Modinomics. Interesting story to it. It was the year 2013. Mr. Modi, as Gujarat Chief Minister, called up the author, Mr. Kocher, that Mr. Chidambaram has made a quip that my knowledge of economics, Mr. Modi, my knowledge of economics fits behind a postage stamp. So what do you think? Since you also have biographed Mr. Chidambaram, the quick reply was that approaches may be different, knowledge is the same. And the rest was laid to rest. The term Modinomics was coined by Mr. Kocher, and the book was written, and thereafter there was no debate on the economic understanding of Mr. Modi, now the Prime Minister. These are our distinguished fellows. As you can see, we have been drawing on the wisdom of bureaucrats, media, industry, regulators. When we organize each round of Scotch Award, almost everyone goes through several rounds of evaluations, right from submitting the nomination to participation in exhibition and finally the popular vote and so on and so forth. At each stage, we are guided by their wisdom. So College of Scotch awardees as well as the experts help us identify the best practices. One thing that has remained with us and that has taken us scaling heights year after year is our conviction and belief that if you do not walk the straight and narrow, people do not walk along. You will be dropped halfway through. It has been a painstaking journey. It has been an uphill task. The journey has been arduous. But yes, maintaining neutrality with honesty and not getting bowed down to any kind of external influence or pressure is what SKOCH stands for, and is exemplified as much in SKOCH Awards. So as I said, that SKOCH Award is bringing best practices which are replicable all around, and there are several beacons of hope, which is what we have discovered in our journey in the last 25 years. And as I said earlier, that the knowledge and the wisdom that we bring to the table is something which is respected. That's the reason when we honor people, they accept. And then when we invite, they oblige us. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for this evening to celebrate such high number of achievements from all around the country.